Healing is not cute. It is not fun. It is not easy. And it sometimes it's just ugly. It means revisiting. What is up, beautiful people, and welcome to Gimme My Change. I am Ashley Adora, and if you saw my last video, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I did not ghost you. I am not Casper. Well, I kind of did ghost you, but it was for good reason, okay? I promise I will try my best not to do that again without a heads up. But that is why I'm here today, to talk about everything that I've learned and the reason why I had to step away in the first place. If this is your first time seeing me, welcome. Gimme My Change is basically a pledge that I made to myself, that I was going to stop wishing for things and actually do the work to make it happen. So all those Pinterest boards, all those posts, all those vision boards, they need to come to life. And I have to do what it takes to make that happen, which means, self-care, working on my mental health, facing my fears, and just taking risks that are ultimately going to lead me towards the life I want. So if you're on this same vibe, then subscribe and, let's go through this journey together. You know what I'm saying? Before I get into sharing my story with you, I just wanted to say congratulations. You made it to 2022, and that was no easy thing, okay? The last 2 years have been crazy, like crazy, okay? And you and I are here today, and that is a blessing. No matter how we are in this moment, a mess, together, in between, we made it, and I just want to say congratulations to you. 2021 for me was a very disarming year. I felt like I just kind of unraveled throughout the year in the best ways and in the worst ways. It honestly felt like I was in a tunnel and I knew that I was going somewhere, but it was very dark. It started to get really cold. And I just started wondering, like, what's going on? Why am I in this darkness? And by darkness, I mean my anxiety, which I've dealt with for a good amount of my life, started to intensify. My depression spells started to become more frequent, and I started to really not trust anyone, including myself. The irritability was on 10. It just felt like I was on an emotional roller coaster. And I was trying to understand why I was feeling kind of worse than the year before. It just wasn't making any sense. I was achieving goals and doing the things, not everything, but I was doing the things I said I wanted to do, and it just wasn't making me happy. It didn't fix it all. I got out of my toxic job and I found a new one that is much better. I moved into a house that I love, that has everything on my checklist. My kids are in a great daycare. They're finally potty trained. Thank you. And I started this podcast. I started this YouTube channel by myself, which for me, a shy girl like me, was very difficult to do, but I pushed through and did those things. So I felt like I should be on top of the world. I should be popping champagne internally, like every day. And if anything, I just was feeling like lower and lower. I wasn't sleeping at night. I was becoming very irritable, like I said, very paranoid, because I didn't trust anyone in myself. And I just felt like I was just replaying a lot of things in my head, a lot of negative self-talk. And so it just got to the point where it was like, okay, we need to do something. We need to turn this ship around, because that iceberg is coming and we're gonna smash it. We be me. So today I am going to share with you the steps that started my healing journey and kind of where I am now with it. You know how they always say the first step is admitting you have a problem. that's the first step. So step number one for me was just finally being able to admit out loud to the ones closest to me that I'm not doing okay. And not just a little bit okay, like I'm really struggling and I'm going to need your help, or I'm going to need this space to do so. For a recovering perfectionist like me, it's really, really hard to admit when I need help, or when I'm not doing so well, or when I feel like I'm not handling things to the best of my ability. And this was definitely one of those situations. My partner basically was like telling me until he was blue in the face that he felt like I need to get a therapist. It was affecting our relationship. It was affecting my being able to be present with my kids, and it was just affecting my day-to-day life, my mood, my energy, my mental state. And that's when I was like, all right, so I just need to reach out and let people know, like, hey, I'm struggling. I know I need to take steps to kind of get out of this, but I don't really know where to start. Can we talk about this? So I will say, if you're feeling like something is kind of pulling at you negatively, if life is not feeling good to you, you feel like it should be, if you keep replaying negative things from your past in your head and letting it affect your future, that's probably a sign that you have some healing to do. And so even if you just have to admit it out loud to yourself, or if you have loved ones close to you that you feel comfortable kind of letting them know and leaning on them for love and support while you figure things out, I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend you do so, because admitting is the first step. So step two on my healing journey was getting help. Now, admitting you need help or you're having an issue can be hard. Doing the work to get the help can sometimes be hard too, especially if you're used to just not prioritizing yourself, your emotional self, your mental self. Like, if you're not used to prioritizing these things, you can kind of put the rest of your life ahead of that, because there's always something to do, right? Adulthood ain't no joke. So getting help is the second step. Now for me, getting help looked like finally finding a therapist, and also, surprisingly enough, getting a life coach. Never in my life did I think I'd have a life coach, but I'm so happy I did it. The road to finding a therapist was not easy. The therapist that I have now is my third therapist in the last 13 months or however. Because it takes work to find a therapist that fits your needs. It takes work to find a therapist that fits your schedule and has the counseling therapy type that you can receive, that you are open to receiving, that works for you. So I got it right on the third try, y'all. Third time's a charm. She kind of fell into my lap. I went to an event and their counseling company, the owner of the company, was there speaking. And once I heard her words and heard their mission, I was just like, I'm gonna check y'all out. And it was magic. I found the therapist that I needed, and I know for sure that she is a major part in the progress that I have to this day. I still got a ways to go, but I'm very, very grateful for the therapist that I have found. Now, life coach. So I never really understood what a life coach was. I didn't even know that they had different kind of niches in life coaching, because there's many aspects to life, just so there'll be many aspects to coaching. But my life coach is a mindset coach, which is perfect because I have been a pessimist for most of my life. Very kind of glass half full. The way that I perceive my life, or I perceived my life, I knew it wasn't in the most positive light. And I realized that in therapy, and that's why mindset coaching just made perfect sense, because it basically gives you the tools to reroute your thoughts to be beneficial to you, as opposed to tearing you down or keeping you from achieving the goals in the life that you want. Luckily for me, a very close friend of mine became a coach literally right around the time that I needed it. And so it was just, again, magical. I've learned so much throughout her coaching program, and I recommend it to anyone that has the means to do so, the time to do so. Mindset coaching provides you with such great tools to be able to kind of persevere through life struggles and push past negative thoughts or doubts to be able to move forward and do the things you want in life. So I know that could sound like a lot, like, dang, you got a therapist and a life coach. But as far as health goes, there's many roads you can take to be healthy. There's many avenues you can take towards your health. I compare it to working out. You know, therapy to me is like cardio, and life coaching, mindset coaching is like weightlifting. And if you would like a video, I'm going more in depth on what I've experienced from both sessions and kind of how they benefit one another and me in the long run, then comment below and I can definitely make a video kind of breaking down the difference between a mindset coach and having a therapist and the benefits of having both. If it is not feasible for you to get a coach and or get a therapist at this current point in time, the best thing I can say is use your resources, which the internet is a very big one. There is YouTube, there are podcasts that you can listen to that can feed you spiritually and mentally and kind of help you work through the problems that you may go through. Of course, there's always self-help books. That has been helpful to me. I've also been reading books during this time. I have had the 4 Agreements for the longest, and I have tried to read it so many times and it just wasn't hitting. But during these last, about 2-3 months ago, I opened that book up and alignment. It was everything I needed during that time. And I'm going to continue to grow a library on self-help and self-evolution just because it's nice to open your mind and really think about the way that you're approaching life and your perspective and how you're feeding yourself. So there's self-help books. Of course, music is always a healing thing for me. I have a healing playlist that is actually on Spotify. It's not healing sound baths or anything like that. It's more so just like jams that you can listen to on your healing journey that can kind of get you through, because music has always motivated me. And last but not least, journaling. Journaling is so important on your healing journey. It helps you release. It helps you look back on where you've been. It kind of connects the dots on like steady themes that are in your mind or in your heart, and kind of how you should approach them, if they're helping you, if they're not helping you. So journaling is a must. And sometimes when I don't have time to like sit down and actually write my journal, I will do a voice memo on my phone. And it's very cathartic, and I don't have to worry about impeding on anybody else's time or kind of getting feedback or anything like that. It's just a nice release that I can go back and listen to and kind of and see where to go from there, or see if I've had any growth. The same thing like the journal, see if there's any steady themes, or just delete it. So step 3 was about, for me, making the space. Now, we always talk about taking up space, but when you're trying to focus on something that is really important and you're making it a priority, you have to make the space in order to do so, which unfortunately meant that I had to stop making videos and I had to stop making podcasts, because I really need to focus my spare time on pouring into myself and working on the way that I think and the way that I handle my emotions and the way that I let it affect my present and my future. So that meant I had to take a break. I also had to kind of leave some mental junk food behind. There's certain shows I stopped watching. There's certain podcasts I stopped listening to. I took a break from Instagram. Still on TikTok because you learn so much. But I really just tried to step away and get in my own cocoon as much as possible. You know, I'm a mom, I work a full-time job, I have a partner, and so they were very kind and patient with me outside of my job. So there was a lot of moving parts to my life, so I really had to make the space and make my mental health and my overall well-being a priority. And I didn't realize how much I wasn't used to prioritizing myself. just taking forever to find a therapist, not really keeping up with working out or eating in a way that I know is going to make me feel well, or really processing and feeling those feelings that I want to avoid so bad. I was just doing everything but helping myself. So making the space to really focus on what I need to focus on, focusing on healing, was the best thing that I could do. Because you can have all the help in the world and you can admit it, but if you still distract yourself and find other things to do other than doing the work to make yourself better, it's all for naught. So do the work. Number 4, I had to accept and live and stew in the ugly. Healing is not cute. It is not fun. It is not easy. And sometimes it's just ugly. It means revisiting things that you tried to push out of your head. It means reparenting yourself. It means learning how to reparent yourself and be gracious with yourself and have patience and approach yourself with love. It takes looking back on your past or looking on your present and just realizing that some of the things that you do are gross. Some of the ways that you think are gross. And by gross, I mean just really not beneficial to you, not the way you want to be. And when you're a mother, definitely not the way you want your kids to be. I never realized how controlling I was. I mean, even though I got the tattoo because of SZA, but that's neither here nor there. I didn't realize how much I tried to control every aspect of my life out of fear. And the more I went on this journey, the more I just started unraveling that the basis of a lot of my decisions and a lot of my thoughts are fear-based. And that's just ugh. You can't create anything out of fear except for more fear or more pain or more negativity. And so it was a really ugly moment to recognize that a lot of my issues and a lot of the pain that I was feeling was self-inflicted. And it was a lack of faith and it was a lack of positivity towards myself that was ultimately creating this tunnel, this dark tunnel that I was really trying so hard to push through that just kept getting tighter and tighter. So that's ugly is the truth sometimes. Truth is ugly sometimes, and you got to sit in that. You can't rush past it. You can't dismiss it. You can't explain it away. You have to own it. You have to sit in it, and you have to be like, okay, so what now? No shoulda, coulda, wouldas. This is what it is. This is how it feels. What tools am I going to pull from? What can me and my therapist work on? What book am I going to read? How much am I going to move my body? How much am I going to rework my perspective so that I don't feel like this or that I don't do these actions any longer? Sit in the ugly. You'll be prettier because of it. Finally, step 5, I just began to self-pour. They always say that you can't pour from an empty cup, and that is true. But who do you think is going to fill the cup? Because your boo can't fill the cup. Your kids can't fill the cup. Your mama can't fill the cup. Your daddy can't fill the cup. Your friends can't fill the cup. Alcohol can't fill the cup. Okay, I'll stop. But really, you really have to self-pour. And that means doing things that not only feel good to you, but that you know are good for you. Taking your breaks at work, to walk away, to do breath work, to sit in the sun, journaling, taking long baths, working out, not as punishment for your body or because you need to be skinny by Friday or by your vacation, but making yourself physically strong and feel good and breathe lighter and your muscles, move them around. It does wonders for your brain. Listening to music that makes you feel good. Trying new things. Like I said, reading those books, you have to sit and self-pour and figure out, okay, what is it that I need? And that's on a day-to-day basis. I did try to start off being really harsh on myself or being really strict and being like, I need to do all these things every day. I tried the 75 soft challenge, and while there were parts of it that I loved, the pressure to do that every single day and work and take care of my kids and deal with my hectic schedule just became too much. And so I love that I got in the groove of all of those things, of reading books and drinking large amounts of water and working out and breath work and meditation. And so now I can assess every day with, okay, how am I going to self-pour today? What do I need today? And how do I want to feel? Am I going to take a long bath today? Is it going to be a wine night and I watch 2 of my favorite shows? Am I going to read a book that I know that I need to read? Am I gonna drink coffee? Am I gonna drink tea? Self-pour means assessing every day, what do you need in order to be your best self? Because nobody is going to give it to you like you can give it to you. You know what I'm saying? So those are my 5 steps in my healing journey that I've done so far. And really, it's all about balance. It's all about bringing all of these things together to really feed yourself and to do the work of healing and feeling and dealing with things that you might have been avoiding so that you can be lighter now and more present now and thrive. Because everything starts in the mind. I knew that I couldn't make any more changes in my life. I couldn't knock out anything else on my list without working on my inside first, because I wouldn't feel the joy of that. It wouldn't get me anywhere because inside I wasn't aligned. I wasn't okay. I wasn't happy. So I hope that the basis of your healing journey is simply for you, is so that you can feel whole, is so that you can feel balanced, is so that you can feel happy internally, so that you can pour into others and continue to pour into the life that you really and truly want for yourself. Because we are not here to survive. We are here to what? Thrive. That's right. And last but not least, no matter what it is, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth the risk. I'm worth the fuss. I'm worth the time. I'm worth the money. I'm worth the love. I'm worth the patience. I'm worth it all. No matter what it is, you are worth it. There you have it, peeps. That has been my healing journey so far in a nutshell. I hope that it was helpful to you. If you could relate, or if you have been thinking about starting your healing journey yourself, I hope that this was the push that you needed, because like I said, you're worth it. It's not always gonna feel great. It's not always gonna be easy, but in the end, it's only gonna be beneficial to you. If you want more content like this, and you want more of my stories, or you want to share your goals with me, or you have a life that you feel like you need to get to and actually be intentional about, subscribe. You can listen to my podcast wherever podcasts are found, and I'll put all the links below. And comment and let me know how you feel. Let me know where you're at in life and what goals you're working on and how your mental health journey is going, because I would love to hear about it. Because when we share our stories, we connect and we feel less alone in this world and feel like we can go on. And I want you to feel that way, because now we're besties. I don't know if you knew it or not, but we're besties now. So whether you're a recovering perfectionist like me, or you're just a person who needs to hear this, your peace is a priority, and you deserve to feel love and joy in as many corners of your life as possible. Do whatever you can to get there, and just let the fears and the doubts fall to the side. Keep moving forward. You got this. Remember, you beat 2020, so you're a legend. You can do anything. Anything. Until next time, keep rising. Bye.